How's it going, my friends? Back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about something that I've been really desperately trying to put a video together on for like the last week. It's very hard to explain the thought process behind this, and I'm going to do my best. I don't even know if this is going to come out all right, but I'm going to do my best to kind of communicate it to you guys. So let's talk about the #1 objective for every single photo that you shoot. Okay, this doesn't matter if you're going for landscape photography, if you're going for people, weddings, models, editorial stuff. This should be the driver behind every single photo that you take. And that is to make people remember something that they forgot. Okay? Make people remember something that they forgot. That seems kind of high level. Let's break it down. So basically, the thing with living in the modern world today is people forget the things that make us human. They forget the things that actually stir emotion, create new things, give life meaning. It's so easy today to be caught up in just making money, providing a roof over your head, a night out for dinner every once in a while, a nightly drink just to kind of kill the anxiety. You turn into a drone, you do this every single day. The 2 days on the weekends, Friday, or Saturday and Sunday, are your time to relax, and then you're back at it the next day. And the real life kind of just bleeds out and drifts away from the everyday existence. People want to be remembered of the things that actually make us human, which are connections. The way that we connect and interact with the world, the way that we were when we were kids. Everything was new. Everything was, an adventure. There's so many things that we lose along the way. And art, we're talking about photography right now, but this goes for art in general. Art is our way to reconnect with that. And so when we're going out to make photos, that should be the #1 objective. We want to remind the viewer of the things that they forgot in this world. Now, I'm specifically a wedding photographer. I shoot people, so my goal is to really remind them of a few things. Obviously, love, fun, connection, the point in their relationship when things were new. That's one of the things that I always think about when I'm shooting a couple is like when people see this photo, and they're in a relationship, they've been married or they, have been in a long-term relationship. I want those people to look at my photos and be like, man, I remember what it was like with my significant other when we first met. And we were just new in love and the whole world was like, opened up and full of possibilities. That's what I want people to remember when I shoot my photos. So how does that translate? And how do I actually execute that? Well, I don't just sit there and I just say, okay, pose like this, and then, I'm going to get this type of shot. I mean, there are certain times when I do that, but that's rarely what I go to, and that's never what really inspires me. What I love to do is get people interacting with each other and naturally bring out that vibe of the message that I'm trying to create. So if I want people to remember fun, what it was like when you were with you met your significant other and everything was just like fun and a blast and you guys were laughing at each other, every joke was funny, every new thing and the connection was there. I want my couples to start interacting with each other. I have a thought in my mind of, okay, I want to project the fun between these two. So I have them play with each other. I have them run around. I have, them do something stupid. I have one person tell an embarrassing story to the other person. So, I have them like whisper it or something so I can't hear. And they're just laughing and kind of interacting. I have them do stupid stuff like, hey, pick her up and, like try and walk backwards with her, kind of you holding her back and try and walk backwards, or close your eyes and, run up to her and see, when you can grab her or something like that. Just things that make them interact with each other. We'll go out to places like we'll go out in the city and be like, okay, I'm gonna step back, I'm gonna use a longer lens, and I want you guys to go grab a coffee and just sit in that window right there and just tell each other, just talk to each other about your first date or something. Laugh. I want to see what like unfolds between you two. And those are the type of photos that actually, when people look at them, they say, oh my God, there's something real there. Because I was just a facilitator. I just set the stage kind of, and then let them go off and just create their own things, and then I was there to photograph it. That's kind of what you do as a photographer. You want to set the stage, arrange the pieces, and then just let something unfold naturally, and then you're there to capture it. And through your training, you can capture it in a more, creative way through composition, unique angles, and then, more advanced techniques, which is kind of goes into like, advanced lighting and things like that. But the number one goal is to project something that the other person, when they look at a photo, they say, oh, I remember that. I remember that feeling, and I feel like everybody forgets that piece. That is the most important thing when you're going into like compose something. You want to have a sense of a message that you're trying to send when you're taking these photos. So you want to recreate feelings instead of photos. You want to recreate them. Recreate feelings. You don't think about, that it really comes down to this is you, when you're going out to shoot photos, you should not go out to create photos. You should go out to create feelings. And so, the way you do that is to focus on feelings. If you're shooting people, you say, what can I do to make this fun? What can I do to have these two actually have fun? And you can't fake it. I mean, you can, but the photos, they're never the same. You got to do your best to actually say, okay, if I'm trying to create fun, what can I do to make these two people have fun together? If I'm trying to create love, what do I do to actually make these people feel it between each other? And that will translate to the viewer. They'll remember it because you're recreating the feelings. You understand? So when I go out to, and when you go out to shoot photos, you should project what you want the world to see. So you go out there with a clear objective. And, instead of, like, when Sarah and I first started at this, what we would do is we'd have a list of photos that we wanted to get. Like, we'd put, like, oh, this type of pose, the groom putting his arm around and walking this way or something. We'd have a specific list. But as it's evolved in our photography, we go out there and we say, all right, what's the message? What do we want to try to say? These two couples, these two that we're shooting, we know them. We've had a couple conversations. They seem like more deep, So we'll have things more dramatic and more close and emphasize the connection. And then we have ones that, like, I'm shooting a very small ceremony, wedding, social distance ceremony this weekend. And, this couple, when we did their engagement shoot, they were, like, so fun. I mean, they're just, like, hilarious two people, and they just constantly laughing and joking. So I want to show the fun connection between these two, and I want to make people remember what it was like when they were with their significant other and everything was just a blast and an adventure. So that's the goal. Instead of specific poses, I want to show the realness between the two and what type of message they're sending. You just gotta, it comes down to you have to remind people what it means to be human. We're unlike any other living creature on this earth. We have a whole wide array of emotions and experiences and feelings. And sadly, most people, they transition into adulthood and they just forget all those things that make us human. They forget the connection. The way that the time is fleeting and it just goes away from us. I mean, not to get too off track here, but like one of the best things that can come from this whole pandemic situation is a real realigning of our thoughts and reminding ourselves that time is just constantly slipping away from us. That's why I said on my live stream, that's why I have the skull. It keeps the idea of death and, fleeting time in the front of my mind so I don't waste it. It's not a morbid thing. It allows me to constantly remind myself that things are not going to be the same. I never get this time back. And people they just go through life and they get so caught up in the mundane, repetitive, monotonous tasks that they really forget, what makes us human and what we are, which is the connections we have with people and the world around us, the emotions that we feel every single day, the things that we can do to put new things into the world, and just enjoying the moments as they come and as they're here, because they're never coming back. And so if you can, as a photographer, capture that If you can look past the, spectacle photos, like, oh, I just want to create something. I saw this photo somewhere with this really cool lighting setup. And then that's your goal. That's a dead photo. That's something with no life in it, because you're just trying to create just an image. But if you're going out and your goal is to make people remember something, some feeling, some attachment to the real world that they forgot, your photo will turn out to be amazing. And that's why I talk about, the gear stuff is so secondary, because if you make a photo that really touches on something, it hits a nerve of life, of the fundamental things that make us who we are, it does not matter if you took that thing on a 3 megapixel old ass iPhone in terrible lighting with a bunch of grain. The feeling is there. And that's what matters so much. So don't rush out and go buy, a bunch of new stuff because you think it's going to help you make photos that are deep and have some type of, unexplainable wow factor. You see photos and you just can't put your finger on what makes it so beautiful. I'm telling you, it's if you go deeper, it's because it's reminding you of something that's fundamental in life. Some type of beautiful spirit of being human. Like those old, wartime Pulitzer Prize, the Tiananmen Square, the guy standing in front of the tank. I mean, it's not that sharp. It's black and white, no color. It's grainy. It's old. It's taken with an older camera. The guy standing in front of the tank. That reminds us of what it's like to be human, of saying, enough is enough, standing up to, something that's greater and more powerful because of a belief in a message. That's why it's a beautiful photo. It has nothing to do with the sharpness of it, or the, megapixels, or the resolution, or the crazy, lighting or something like that. It's all about, you look at it and you remember something that you forgot, or something that you can instantly connect with that reminds you of your humanity. I hope this video wasn't too much of a rant or too high level. I don't even know if it makes sense, but I hope it really helped you guys, because man, this is something that I think about a lot, and I think that this is high level stuff that if we remember this, we can implement it into our photography. Whew, that's when we really start to make photos that take it to the next level, and we start to make a name for ourselves. People start to realize, okay, this person is representing life in a real way, and that's my goal. I don't want to make superficial photos that are just spectacle, wow, crazy effects or anything like that. Those are fun sometimes, but that's not the goal of my photography. The ultimate overarching goal is, when you look at my work, when I'm old and I'm on my deathbed, I want to have my photo books out, and I want people to look at the stuff and say, this was such a good representation of what it's like to be human. That's it. I'm going to share a photo with you guys that somebody had sent me from my last live stream. I'd asked you guys to start sending in photos that you guys have taken. I really want to start, showcasing the community's work. So Ken Peterson, you are the man for sending this. I was really, really impressed with this portrait. I love it a lot. It's probably the black and white is something that I love. It's different than my style, but it's unique, and it seems like you've really spent a lot of time kind of honing your style and crafting it. So I wanted to showcase this portrait, and I will leave you guys with this, and until the next video. Oh, also, on Friday, I'm going to be doing the live stream. I put that up on the YouTube, so scheduled it Friday at 4 p.m. I hope you guys can make it, and yeah, till the next video, my friends.